Hello, I'm Louise from Agriland. I'm here on a farm in North County Dublin with Patrick Tahane. As rain persists on many farms around the country, farmers are under more mental pressure than ever before. Patrick, how has the consistent rain been affecting you?
Well, I suppose as you can see from around you how wet the ground is, the biggest problems at the minute are management decisions going forward, whether the weather will pick up in time to sow some of the crops that we've intended to sow. Like we have seed in the shed, we've bean seed, wheat seed, and the window for that is getting very, very narrow. We might have another 10 days that you could viably sow that. After that, it's not going to be worth it.
How is that affecting you then?
Well, I suppose we're kind of, every day you get up, it's not getting any better. We have spread a bit of fertiliser, we've had a little bit of spraying done, but that should be all complete at this time of the year, and we should be getting on with the sowing and the planting of the potatoes. But there's absolutely no sign of anything picking up in the next 10 days. So I fear that a lot of the land in the country is going to be left fallow this year. Because it's just like once you get beyond a certain date, the crops will not yield, no matter what inputs you put on them. Across the board, it's the same for everybody. It doesn't matter whether you're in tillage or livestock or vegetables. Vegetables in particular will suffer a lot, as we will with potatoes, like, you know, not being able to get them sown on time. So it has been spoken about. I do think there will be a shortage of potatoes going into the summer. I think the rooster will run out.
And what do you think could be done there? Is it a lack of support from the government, or how do you think that we can get out of this situation?
I don't think the government really comes into this one, and I'm not sure whether you can blame it on climate change. Maybe it has something to do with it, but either way, we're in the business of producing food, and if the weather doesn't let us do that, no government is going to solve it. You know, they can give financial aid to the individual growers who suffer, but long term, it's not going to answer any questions. We still need to put food on the table.
And then in terms of mental support, do you think that there should be more done by the government to make mental support more available to farmers?
I have no doubt that there will be mental support required for certain people in certain sectors, yes. Because there's this isn't a single year incident. This is compounded from last year already, and there are a lot of growers who are under financial stress as it is, and this is going to break people.
And what would you like to see done to help your situation in particular?
I'd like the sun to come out and the wind to blow and dry the land up, but there's no point in me asking for help.
Yeah.
What help can anyone give me?
Yeah.
It's a weather issue at the minute.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, you know, we're lucky enough here. We have the support of my family. We're not on our own as such, but outside intervention isn't going to solve this problem. Yeah. You know, but having said that, I think it is important for people to talk, especially to each other, to neighbours. You know, everyone is in the same boat. So I mean, there isn't really anything that any of us can do.
Yeah. And what do you think could be done to get more farmers incentivised into reaching out and talking to people in this situation?
I'd say media will certainly have a role to play in it. You know, I think nobody is an island, and people shouldn't sit in the background feeling sorry for themselves. They need to talk to other people.
So I'm here with the Executive Director of Samaritans Ireland, Sarah O'Toole. Sarah, this is a very challenging time for farmers at the moment, financially and emotionally as well, with a lot of flooded land all around the country. If farmers do feel like reaching out, what advice would you give them?
Yes, as you say, it's been a very challenging time for farmers, and I suppose our message is that they're not alone. If there are people struggling, going through emotional distress, Samaritans is there for them. Our service is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And we have a free phone helpline, it's confidential, and people can call us on 116 123, or if they don't feel like talking, emailing us at joe@samaritans.ie, that's jo@samaritans.ie. And we really encourage people to reach out before something becomes a bigger problem. We take over 500,000 calls every year from people who are going through periods of emotional distress, be it for family reasons, financial reasons, relationship reasons, and also those who might be feeling somewhat depressed or just struggling with isolation and loneliness. And we know that farmers can oftentimes go through these things too, and particularly now with the wet weather conditions, it can be really a struggle. So what we do is encourage people to talk. Our volunteers are all over the country. We have 24 locations around the island of Ireland. We have 2,000 volunteers who are there ready to provide that listening ear and support.
And farming is a very demanding job, and I know a lot of farmers don't really like to take a step away from the land sometimes because there is a lot of work to be done. But how important is it to take that break?
I know at times like this it can be really, taking a break could be the last thing you're thinking about as a farmer, but things like getting some sleep, eating properly, talking to someone, they're the most beneficial things you can do for your mental health. And particularly talking to someone, reaching out. There are many organisations who are there, like Samaritans, available to talk to, and it's nothing to be ashamed of. And it's really important to do that before an issue becomes too big. I know many farming organisations also have mental health support connections for farmers. Organisations like Alone, Pieta, Aware are also there. Organisations like Samaritans, and are there at the end of the phone if someone needs someone to talk to. And we know a lot of farmers are men, and oftentimes men aren't great at talking, but we know organisations like the Men's Shed around the country, many farmers are reaching out there and participating in those, and they find that a real help as well. So there are supports there. And also not to be afraid to go see your doctor or find something that suits you. Not every service suits everybody, so that's why there are a lot of options there. And also in your own community, we know a lot of farmers are neighbours, and it's really important that they talk to each other and support each other as well if they can do so.